Every day, we scroll through perfect lives, flawless selfies, and success stories that feel out of reach. In a world where appearances often overshadow reality, how do we stay true to who we are? Today, we're diving into the age of fake, a world of filters, facades, and fabricated lives, and exploring how we can navigate it while staying authentic. Before we begin, let me ask you this. When was the last time you showed your real self to the world? No edits, no filters, no exaggerations. If it's been a while, you're not alone. But by the end of this video, you'll have the tools to embrace your authenticity in a world that's increasingly fake. The age of fake isn't just about Instagram filters or Photoshop. It's about the culture of curation we live in. A culture where we carefully select what to show and what to hide, often at the expense of our authenticity. Think about LinkedIn posts that make careers look like a series of wins without setbacks, or influencers posting perfect relationships, only for you to find out later they were struggling behind the scenes. The age of fake extends beyond social media. It's in the workplace, our friendships, and even family gatherings. I remember a friend who threw an elaborate birthday party. She posted photos of herself laughing, surrounded by friends, and captioned it, "Best day ever." But later, she told me she felt incredibly lonely the entire evening. Her curated online life had nothing to do with how she actually felt. What happens to our sense of self when we prioritize how we appear over who we are? Many of us are afraid of being judged for our imperfections, so we present a polished version of ourselves instead. But ironically, this only increases the pressure to keep up appearances. Social media platforms are designed for comparison. When we see others living seemingly perfect lives, we feel compelled to keep up. This isn't just human nature. It's a business model. Mark Twain once said, "Comparison is the death of joy." Yet here we are, comparing our messy reality to everyone else's highlight reel. Likes, comments, and shares act as a kind of currency. They validate our curated selves, but they can also trap us. We start creating content not to express ourselves, but to please others. Let me tell you about Priya, an artist who started posting her paintings online. At first, she loved sharing her work. But as her audience grew, she felt pressured to paint what would perform well instead of what she truly loved. Over time, her joy for art faded because she was creating for others, not herself. When we chase validation, are we building a life we love, or one that others will approve of? Faking it comes at a cost. It can lead to anxiety, burnout, and even feelings of isolation. Why? Because if people only love the perfect version of you, it's hard to believe they'd accept the real you. On a larger scale, the age of fake creates a world of unrealistic standards. We're all competing in a game where the rules are rigged and no one actually wins. Think about diet culture. Influencers promote impossible body standards with heavily edited photos. The result? Millions of people chasing an unattainable ideal, feeling worse about themselves in the process. It's like a house of mirrors at a carnival. Everything you see is distorted, but after a while, it's hard to remember what reality even looks like. Authenticity starts with clarity. Ask yourself, what matters most to me? What do I believe in? When you live by your values, external validation becomes less important. A musician once told me he stopped chasing trends and started making music that aligned with his beliefs. It didn't go viral, but it brought him fulfillment. Vulnerability is powerful. When you share your struggles, you give others permission to do the same. Authenticity is contagious. A popular YouTuber once shared a video about her struggles with self-doubt. It wasn't polished or perfect, but it resonated deeply with her audience. Instead of losing followers, she gained trust. Your imperfections are what make you human. Instead of hiding them, try celebrating them. They're part of your story. Brené Brown says, "What makes you vulnerable makes you beautiful." Take breaks to reconnect with yourself. Remember, social media is a tool, not a mirror of reality. Surround yourself with people who value you for who you are, not who you pretend to be. Authenticity flourishes in the right environment. What if we measured success not by how many people admire us, but by how deeply we connect with those who matter? There's a story about a man who decided to stop pretending. He quit his corporate job and started a small woodworking business, something he'd always dreamed of. At first, people criticized him for leaving a successful career. But over time, he built a loyal customer base, not because his work was perfect, but because it was real. Authenticity is like a tree with deep roots. It might not grow as quickly as a weed, but it stands firm through any storm. In the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. In the age of fake, being authentic isn't just a choice. It's an act of rebellion. It takes courage to show up as you are, but the reward is worth it. A life that feels honest, fulfilling, and uniquely yours. What would change in your life if you stopped filtering it and started living it? The world doesn't need another curated image. It needs the real you.